Hello, families around the world. Welcome to our fun and educational video where we'll be answering some pretty interesting questions. Today, we're going to embark on an exciting journey of discovery and learning. We'll explore why we have all sorts of insurances and how natural disasters can impact economies. Ever wondered why people use credit cards for purchases? We'll unravel that mystery too. And you know how we're always told to cover our mouths when we cough or sneeze? We'll understand why that's so important. Lastly, we'll delve into how efforts to promote peace often involve negotiations and diplomacy. Each of these topics is a world full of wonder just waiting for us to explore. So, are you ready to dive into this sea of knowledge? It's going to be a fun and enlightening ride. So sit back, relax, and let's dive into our first question. Scene script. Have you ever wondered why we have all kinds of insurances? Well, insurance is like a safety net. Imagine you're a trapeze artist soaring high above the ground. The safety net below catches you if you slip or miss a swing. That's what insurance does. It's a safety net that catches us when life throws us for a loop. Now let's take a step back and understand what insurance is in a simple way. Insurance is a promise. It's a promise from an insurance company to help you if something bad happens. You pay them a small amount regularly, and if that bad thing happens, they help you cover the costs. There are different types of insurance because, well, life has many surprises. Health insurance, for instance, is like having a superhero friend who steps in when you're sick. If you need to go to the hospital, health insurance helps pay for the doctor's fees, medicine, and even hospital stay. It's like having a sidekick who helps you fight the villains of illness and disease. Then, there's car insurance. Imagine you're driving home after a fantastic day at the park, and out of nowhere, a tree branch falls and dents your car. Oh no! Car insurance is there to help you repair or replace your car if it gets damaged. It's like having a magical mechanic who fixes your car when it's broken. And let's not forget about house insurance. Your home is your castle, your fortress. But what if a storm comes and damages your castle's roof? House insurance steps in to help you repair the damage. It's like having a team of builders ready to fix your fortress when it's under attack. So you see, insurance is like a team of superheroes, each ready to help you when different types of trouble strike. They're there to catch you when you fall, fix your car when it's broken, and repair your home when it's damaged. So, insurances are there to help us when unexpected things happen. Isn't that cool? Now let's talk about something a little bit serious. Natural disasters and how they impact economies. You might be wondering, what are natural disasters? Well, natural disasters are big, often scary events caused by nature. This includes things like hurricanes, earthquakes, floods, and wildfires. And economies? That's a big word, right? Economies are essentially how money moves around in a country or region. It's about how we make, sell, buy, and use all kinds of things, from toys to food to houses. Now, imagine you've built a magnificent castle on the beach out of sand. You've worked hard on it all day, and it's the best sand castle in the whole wide world. But then, along comes a big wave, whoosh, and washes it all away. That's kind of what a natural disaster can do to an economy. When a natural disaster like a hurricane or earthquake strikes, it can cause a lot of damage. Houses, schools, hospitals, factories, and roads can be destroyed. This means that people might not be able to go to work or school. Businesses may have to close, and things that we need, like food and clothes, might not be able to get from the places they're made to the shops where we buy them. This can lead to a loss of money for individuals, businesses, and even the government. For example, if a toy factory is damaged in a flood, it might have to stop making toys for a while. This means the factory makes less money, the workers earn less because they can't work, and the government collects less in taxes. Plus, there might be fewer toys in the shops, and they might become more expensive. But it's not just about the immediate damage. Recovery from a natural disaster can take a long time and cost a lot of money. Homes, schools, and businesses need to be rebuilt. Roads and bridges need to be repaired. All of this can put a lot of pressure on an economy, and it can take years, even decades, to fully recover. However, it's not all doom and gloom. After a natural disaster, there can be a period of growth as everything is rebuilt. This can create jobs and can even lead to improvements, as old buildings and infrastructure are replaced with new, often better ones. And remember, many countries have plans in place to help them recover after a natural disaster, including things like insurance and aid from other countries. So when nature gets upset, it can also make our economy upset. But don't worry, people always find ways to recover and rebuild. Ever seen your mom or dad swipe a small plastic card when buying something? That's called a credit card. Now, you might be wondering what exactly a credit card is. Well, imagine you're in a toy store, and there's this amazing toy that you really want, but you left your piggy bank at home. A credit card is like a magical tool that lets your parents buy that toy for you right then, even if they don't have the exact amount of money in their pockets at that moment. Think of it as a special agreement with the bank. The bank says, "We'll pay for your toy now, and you can pay us back later." It's kind of like borrowing money, but instead of borrowing from a friend or your parents, you're borrowing from the bank. Now let's say your family is at the grocery store. Your mom has a long list of things to buy: apples, bread, milk, and maybe even some ice cream for dessert. The total cost is much more than what she has in her purse, but no worries. She can use her credit card to pay for everything. The bank pays the grocery store, and your mom promises to pay the bank back. But here's an important note. Using a credit card isn't just about spending. It's also about trust. When your mom or dad uses their credit card, they're promising the bank that they'll pay the money back. It's like when you promise to clean your room. You have to follow through on your promise. The same thing goes for credit cards. If you borrow money, you have to pay it back. And not just the amount you borrowed, but a little extra too. That extra is called interest. Consider it as a thank you gift to the bank for lending the money. Remember the toy from the toy store? Let's say it cost $10 and the bank lent you that amount. When you pay the bank back, you might have to give them $11 instead. That extra dollar is the interest. So why do people use credit cards? Well, they're convenient. They allow us to make purchases even if we don't have the exact amount of cash on hand. They're like a short-term loan that can be paid back over time. Plus, they can be used almost anywhere, from the grocery store to the toy store and even online. But just like with any tool, it's important to use credit cards responsibly. That means not spending more money than you can pay back and always making sure to pay the bank back on time. So a credit card is like a promise to pay later, but remember, it's always important to spend wisely. Do you cover your mouth when you cough or sneeze? Ever wondered why? Well, it all boils down to one tiny yet powerful word: germs. Yes, those invisible microscopic creatures that are everywhere around us. Germs are tiny organisms that can cause diseases. When we're sick, we have more germs in our bodies and we can spread them to others. Now, imagine this. You're at home, enjoying a good book, when suddenly you feel a tickle in your throat, and before you know it, you're about to cough. If you don't cover your mouth, those tiny invisible germs from your body can fly out into the air, like little astronauts launched into space. They can travel quite a distance, up to 6 feet away from you. That's about as long as a tall adult lying down. Not only do they travel far, but they can also live on surfaces for a while. So, if your germs land on something like a doorknob or a toy, someone else could touch that object and then touch their face, allowing those germs to enter their body. This is how illnesses can spread from one person to another. Covering your mouth when you cough or sneeze is like putting up a shield, blocking those germs from escaping and going on their little adventure. You can use a tissue, your elbow, or your hands to do this. But remember, if you use your hands, it's important to wash them afterward to make sure you get rid of any germs that may have landed there. It's not just about keeping yourself healthy, but also about being considerate of others around you. Think of it as your superhero power. With one simple move, you can protect those around you from getting sick. It's a small act, but it can make a big difference. So, we cover our mouths to be considerate and keep those around us healthy. Don't forget to do it next time. Have you ever heard the words negotiations and diplomacy? They're big words, but they're very important for peace. Now let's break these words down. Negotiations are like when you and your friend both want the last piece of cake. You might decide to split it so you both get a piece. That's a negotiation. It's a way of finding a solution that makes everyone happy. Diplomacy, on the other hand, is like being a good team leader in a game. It's about understanding everyone's feelings and ideas and making sure everyone feels heard and respected. So if two of your friends are arguing about the rules of a game, being diplomatic might mean listening to both sides and helping them agree on the rules. Now, why are these two things, negotiations and diplomacy, important for peace? Well, imagine a world where everyone was fighting over that last piece of cake. It would be pretty chaotic, right? And nobody would be happy. That's why it's important to negotiate, to find a solution that works for everyone. And think about that game again. If the team leader didn't listen to everyone's ideas and just made up the rules without asking, some players might feel left out or upset. They might not want to play the game anymore. That's why diplomacy is important. It makes sure everyone feels heard and respected, so they're happy to keep playing the game. But negotiations and diplomacy aren't just for games and cake. They're also important for bigger things, like countries and governments. When countries have disagreements, they can't just ignore each other or start fighting. They have to talk to each other, listen to each other's ideas, and find a solution that everyone agrees on. That's what diplomats do. They help countries talk to each other and solve their problems peacefully. And when countries are negotiating, they're trying to find that solution that makes everyone happy. Just like splitting the cake, they're looking for a way to solve their disagreement that's fair for everyone. That can take a lot of talking and listening, but it's worth it to avoid a fight. You see, when countries fight, it can hurt a lot of people. It can make it hard for people to live their lives, go to school, or even find food to eat. That's why it's so important to try to solve problems peacefully through negotiations and diplomacy. It's not always easy, but it's always worth trying. So the next time you and your friend are arguing over that last piece of cake, remember the importance of negotiations and diplomacy. Listen to each other's ideas, find a solution that makes you both happy, and enjoy your cake together. You'll be practicing the same skills that diplomats use to promote peace around the world. So, negotiations and diplomacy are ways to solve problems peacefully. Isn't that a great way to make the world a better place? Well, we've reached the end of our fun and learning journey today. We've asked some big questions and found some fascinating answers. We discovered why we have different types of insurance to help us when things go wrong. We learned how natural disasters can impact economies, making it harder for people to buy things they need. We also uncovered the reasons why people use credit cards for purchases. We then talked about the importance of covering our mouths when we cough or sneeze to keep others safe from germs. And finally, we delved into why efforts to promote peace often involve negotiations and diplomacy, helping us understand how we can solve problems without fighting. But this is just the beginning. There are so many more questions to ask and answers to discover. So keep being curious, keep asking why, and remember to find joy in learning. Remember, the world is full of interesting things to learn. Good night, families, and keep exploring.
Hello, beautiful families out there. We hope you're having a fantastic day. Today, we're going to embark on a thrilling journey of discovery, exploring some of the fascinating wonders that surround us. We'll dive into the world of small businesses, learning why some folks prefer to shop at these cozy corners of our communities. We'll also unravel the mystery of why governments sometimes place economic sanctions against other countries. Next, we'll venture into the digital realm and discuss why people choose to invest in cryptocurrencies. Then, we'll switch gears and immerse ourselves in nature, exploring the reasons behind the diversity of our planet's trees and flowers. Lastly, we'll zoom into the fast-paced world of emergency transportation, like ambulances, and discover why we have different forms of these life-saving vehicles. Each topic is a new adventure, teeming with fascinating facts and insights. Are you ready to start our journey of discovery? Here we go. You know how some of us love to visit the little store around the corner instead of the big malls? Let's talk about why. Picture this, a cozy little shop tucked away in your neighborhood. Whenever you walk in, the friendly shop owner greets you with a warm smile, and they know your name. That's the charm of small businesses. They're not just about buying and selling items, they're about creating a community, a place where you feel welcomed and valued. And it's not just about the warm, fuzzy feelings. Small businesses often have unique items that you won't find in bigger stores. Maybe it's a handmade wooden toy that your little sister would adore, or a delicious home-baked pie that tastes just like Grandma's. These special finds make shopping at small businesses a little bit like a treasure hunt, don't they? But there's more to it than just that. By shopping at small businesses, we're supporting our neighbors and our community. Each purchase helps the shop owner pay their bills, support their family, and continue to provide their unique goods and services. It's a way of saying, hey, we appreciate you and we want you to stick around. And then there's the experience. Shopping at a small business is often a more personal and enjoyable experience than shopping at a larger store. You can ask questions, get recommendations, and sometimes even negotiate prices. It's not just about getting what you need, it's about enjoying the process of shopping itself. But what about the prices, you may ask? Well, while it's true that some things might be a bit more expensive at a small business, remember that you're paying for quality, uniqueness, and a better shopping experience. Plus, the money you spend stays in your community, helping it to grow and thrive. So next time you need to buy something, why not consider visiting that little shop around the corner? You might just find a hidden treasure, make a new friend, and do something good for your community all at once. So, small businesses can be pretty cool, right? They're like hidden gems in our neighborhoods. Now, let's talk about something a bit different. Have you ever seen kids in a playground not sharing their toys because they're upset with each other? Similar situations sometimes happen between countries too. This is what we call economic sanctions. In the simplest terms, economic sanctions are like a big time out that one country gives to another. It's a way for countries to show that they are not happy with something the other country is doing. Just like when you're upset with a friend, you might choose not to share your toys or play with them until they apologize or change their behavior. So, how do these timeouts work between countries? Well, imagine if you have a really cool toy, let's say a super cool rocket ship, that everyone wants to play with. Now, imagine if one of your friends does something that upsets you. To show them that you're not happy, you might decide not to let them play with your rocket ship anymore. In the world of countries, these toys can be things like oil, technology, or even money. When one country is upset with another, they might stop sharing these things. They might also tell their friends, other countries, to do the same. Let's look at an example. Imagine two countries, Fruitland and Veggieland. Fruitland has lots of delicious fruits that everyone wants, especially Veggieland. But one day, Fruitland gets upset with Veggieland because Veggieland won't share its vegetables. So Fruitland decides to stop sharing its fruits. This is a big deal for Veggieland because they love Fruitland's fruits. Now, they have to figure out how to make Fruitland happy again so they can get those delicious fruits back. But economic sanctions aren't just about making someone feel left out. They're also a way for countries to resolve their disagreements without resorting to more serious actions, like fighting. It's like saying, I'm upset with you, but I don't want to fight. Let's figure this out. Sometimes, economic sanctions work, and the country changes its behavior. Other times, they can make things more complicated. But just like in the playground, it's a tool that countries use to try to solve their problems. So, to sum it all up, economic sanctions are just like a big timeout for countries. They are a way for countries to show they're not happy with something another country is doing. And just like in the playground, the goal is always to find a way to make up and play nicely again. And remember, just like with your friends, it's always best to try to understand each other and work things out peacefully. So, economic sanctions are like a timeout for countries, a way for them to show they're not happy with something. From countries not sharing toys, let's move on to something exciting. Have you ever heard of digital money? Let's find out why people love it. Okay. So imagine you're playing a video game and there's a super cool item you want to get. like a magic sword or a rare pet. But to get this item, you need to have the game's special coins, right? Well, cryptocurrencies are kind of like those game coins. But for the real world, they are a type of digital or virtual currency, which means they exist online, just like your game coins. And just like you can use your game coins to buy cool items in your game, people can use cryptocurrencies to buy things in real life or invest them to make more money. Now, you might be wondering, why would anyone want to use these digital coins instead of regular money? Well, there are a few reasons. One, cryptocurrencies are global. That means you can use them anywhere in the world without having to worry about exchanging them for local money. It's kind of like having a universal game coin that works in all your favorite games. Neat, right? Two, cryptocurrencies are decentralized. This is a big word that basically means no single person, company, or government controls them. Imagine if your game coins were controlled by all the players in the game, not just the game creators. That's what decentralized means. 3. Some people believe that cryptocurrencies are the future of money. Kind of like how video games have evolved from simple arcade games to the amazing graphics and stories we have now, these people believe that money is also evolving and cryptocurrencies are the next step. So they invest in them, hoping that their value will go up over time, just like how rare game items can become more valuable over time. But just like in a game, investing in cryptocurrencies can be risky. The value of cryptocurrencies can go up and down a lot, kind of like a roller coaster ride. And just like you wouldn't ride a roller coaster without knowing what you're getting into, it's important to understand cryptocurrencies before you decide to invest in them. Also, remember how we said cryptocurrencies are decentralized? That means they're not insured or guaranteed by any government or company. So if you lose your cryptocurrencies, there's no one who can give you your money back. It's kind of like losing a rare game item. Once it's gone, it's gone. So, cryptocurrencies are like digital treasure chests, aren't they? Exciting and a bit mysterious. But just like in a game, it's important to play safe. So if you ever decide to venture into the world of cryptocurrencies when you're older, remember to do your research and understand what you're getting into. After all, knowledge is the greatest treasure of all. Now, let's step outside and look around. Have you ever wondered why we have so many different types of trees and flowers? Let's find out. Just like we have different flavors of ice cream to enjoy, nature has its own unique way of creating variety. This is called biodiversity. Isn't that a big word? It simply means the variety of life on Earth, including all the different types of trees and flowers we see. Think about how you can choose between chocolate, vanilla, strawberry, and so many other flavors when you get ice cream. It would be quite boring if there was only one flavor, wouldn't it? Similarly, nature loves variety. It's like a big, beautiful ice cream shop with endless flavors. Each type of tree and flower has its own unique characteristics. Some trees, like the mighty oak, grow really tall and have strong, sturdy branches. Some trees, like the willow, have long, droopy branches that sway in the wind. Flowers, too, come in all shapes, sizes, and colors. Some are small and delicate, like the forget-me-nots, while others are big and bold, like sunflowers. These trees and flowers don't just make our world beautiful, they also have important jobs to do. Trees give us shade on a sunny day, they provide homes for animals, and they even help us breathe by producing oxygen. Flowers, on the other hand, attract bees and butterflies that help pollinate them, which means helping them make seeds to grow new plants. And just like each of us has a favorite ice cream flavor, different animals and insects have their favorite types of trees and flowers too. Some birds love to build their nests in tall trees, while some insects prefer certain flowers. So, just like we love having different flavors of ice cream, nature loves having different types of trees and flowers. Isn't that wonderful? Lastly, have you ever seen those big, loud vehicles with flashing lights? Let's discover why they're so important. Just like in our favorite superhero stories, in real life too, there are moments when we need quick help. In these situations, special vehicles come to our rescue. There are real-life superheroes. These include ambulances, fire trucks, police cars, and even helicopters. Let's start with ambulances. These are like hospitals on wheels. If someone gets hurt or suddenly falls ill, an ambulance rushes to them with medical professionals on board. They can start giving treatments even before reaching the hospital. It's like having a superhero doctor who can come to your home. Then we have fire trucks. Imagine a superhero who can control water and put out fires. That's what fire trucks do. They carry a team of firefighters and a lot of water to put out fires. They can reach tall buildings with their long ladders and save people stuck in high places. Next, let's talk about police cars. They're like superheroes who maintain peace and order. If someone is in danger or if there's a crime, police cars rush to the scene. The officers can help people in trouble, catch the bad guys, and make sure everyone is safe. Now, what about those situations when the roads are too crowded or a place is too far to reach quickly? That's when we call in our flying superheroes, the helicopters. They're often used in emergencies to reach places that are hard to get to by land. For example, if someone is hurt on a mountain, a helicopter can fly straight there and take the person to the hospital quickly. These emergency vehicles have some special features that help them do their job. You must have noticed the loud sirens and flashing lights. These signals let everyone know that these vehicles are coming, and they need to get to the scene quickly. This way, other vehicles can make way for them to pass. Sometimes these vehicles might seem scary with their loud noise and fast speed, but remember, they're here to help. They're like our real-life superheroes, always ready to assist us when we're in need. And just like our superheroes have their superpowers, these vehicles have their special abilities too. Ambulances can provide medical help on the go, fire trucks can put out fires, police cars can maintain peace, and helicopters can reach places no other vehicle can. And the people who drive these vehicles, they're our everyday heroes. They're trained to handle these powerful machines and to help us in emergencies. They work day and night, always ready to come to our aid. So these vehicles are like our real-life superheroes, always ready to help us when we need them. How cool is that? Wow, we've learned so much today, haven't we? We've discovered why some people love to support small businesses, and it's not just because they sell unique things, but also because they help build strong communities. We've also explored the complex world of economic sanctions and how governments use them as a tool to maintain peace and fairness. Then we took a dive into the exciting world of cryptocurrencies and learned how people invest in them for potential big gains. We also talked about the amazing diversity of trees and flowers and how each one has a special role to play in our ecosystem. And finally, we zoomed into the fast-paced world of emergency transportation, understanding why we have different vehicles like ambulances to keep us safe during emergencies. Thank you for joining us on this exciting journey of discovery. Good night, beautiful families. Sweet dreams!